So in the first 24 hours of searching, you received a phone call from someone using Ryan's number, and they masked it to make it appear as though they were calling from his phone.
Yes.
So that obviously had an impact on you. I'm curious about how misinformation, that's part of it, that came there. How does that impact families and searches?
And that was just one drop in the bucket. It was the most horrifying for me because I was sitting in the command center and, the phone rings. And at this time, it's only Monday, maybe Tuesday. So he's only been gone for 2 days. And when the police left us that night, or the search, our Kamloops search and rescue, they had said, we didn't find Ryan, but, we've asked the public to look for, to keep an eye out for their outbuildings, sheds, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So there's this possibility that you never want to imagine the worst has happened to your child. You want to hold on to his hope as long as you can. Mm-hmm. And so we thought, okay, well, maybe Ryan got caught up in one of the buildings that was being renovated. He passed out, he got cold, or he just was disoriented, or whatever it is. And he's there, he's not doing well, but he's still there. And so, when that phone rang on the Tuesday, I was sitting outside of the command center, just having a moment, just taking a breath. And I see Ryan's name come up on my phone, but it's an iPhone message. It's not like an actual phone call. It was done through an iPhone app or something like that. But I don't recognize that at the moment. I just see his name and all the emojis that I had chosen. I think there was a monkey and stuff like that, because he was always very mischievous as a child. But anyways, and I picked it up, and it was this prank call. It was some southern old woman asking about toilet paper, and then you've been pranked by so and so, and I'm just horrified. I don't know who would have done this, why would they have done this, what satisfaction you got from it, and I just remember being so broken at that moment. If there was a catalyst to just do it, up until that time, I think we were shell shocked, but in that moment, it broke me. And I remember we had one of the coworker from my company had come out, and he was sitting there, and he had experience in law enforcement previously, and so he picked up, and he was trying to figure it all out. And I'm glad in that moment he was there, because I think he provided me some stability. He was able to sit there and go, okay, these are the things that could have happened. So he was able to sort of walk me through it. And I just remember horrified, obviously. And then someone said to me, I know it was horrifying for you, Heather, but are you not happier that you received it, rather, and not in that sense, happy that you got it, but that you didn't, it wasn't sitting down, your phone wasn't turned over, you hadn't looked at it, and then you were to look over and to see the number come up from your son, and you missed it. Because I would never have known it would have been a prank. And I could have gone through the rest of my life wondering if in that moment Ryan was calling because he needed me, or he needed to be rescued, or he needed help, or he was in dire straits, and I missed it. And so I look at that, and again, I think that was that moment where you sit there and you make decisions whether you're going to look for the silver linings. And even as horrific as that was, I am glad that I took that phone call. If it had to come to me, I'm glad I took it rather than ignored it and always wondered.